In a small African village, surrounded by tall forests and red dusty paths, there lived an old woman everyone laughed at. Some called her strange, some called her mad, but no one truly understood her. Every morning, before the sun rose, the villagers would see her walking slowly toward the forest, carrying a small basket. And every evening, she returned alone. But what frightened the villagers the most was that she was always whispering, whispering to the trees, whispering to the wind, and sometimes it almost looked like the forest whispered back. Her name was Mama Said, and this is the story of the woman the entire village mocked, until the day they realized she was the only one who could save them. The village of Ikan was peaceful but proud. Farmers worked hard under the hot sun. Children played in the open fields. Women carried baskets of vegetables to the busy market. Life moved slowly, and everyone knew each other. But there was one person people avoided. Mama Said. Her house stood far away from the others, near the forest. It was small. The roof was made of dry palm leaves, and the walls leaned slightly from years of wind and rain. But behind the hut was something unusual. A garden, not just any garden, a beautiful garden, green vegetables, tall maize plants, bright pumpkin leaves, sweet fruits hanging from trees. While other farms struggled, Mama Said's garden always flourished, and this only made the villagers more suspicious. Something is not right, they whispered. How can an old woman grow food like this? She must be using strange magic. But the truth was much simpler. Every morning, Mama Said would walk into the forest. She would gently touch the bark of ancient trees. She would sit quietly near the roots, and she would whisper soft words. Thank you for the water you protect beneath the soil. Thank you for bringing the rain. Thank you for feeding the earth. To Mama Said, the forest was alive, but to the villagers, it was only wood to be cut. One afternoon, a group of children followed Mama Said as she walked toward the forest. They hid behind bushes, giggling. Look at her, one boy laughed. She is talking to the trees again. Another girl copied her voice in a mocking tone. Oh, mighty tree, please give me food. The children burst into laughter. Mama Said stopped walking. Slowly, she turned around. The children froze. Instead of being angry, she simply smiled. Then, she said gently, one day, you will understand why the trees matter. But the children only laughed louder. To them, she was just a strange old woman. As the village grew bigger, the need for land increased. More farms, more houses, more firewood. One evening, the village chief gathered the elders. We must cut more trees from the forest, he declared. It will give us more space to grow. Mama Said heard the news. The next morning, she walked into the village square. This was unusual. She rarely spoke to anyone, but this time, her voice carried urgency. Please, do not cut the old trees, she warned. They protect the land. The villagers laughed. Old woman stories, someone said. The chief shook his head. The forest belongs to the village, he replied firmly. We will use it as we wish.
If we continue on this path, the land will suffer.
Mama Said lowered her head sadly. Then the land will suffer, she whispered. But no one listened. And so the cutting began. At first, Nothing seemed wrong. The new farms looked beautiful. The cleared land gave space for more houses. The villagers celebrated their progress, but the next rainy season was strange. The rain came late, very late. Some crops failed.
The rains have failed us again. It's bad luck. Bad luck?
Our fields are dying. What will we eat?
It's misfortune. We work hard, but the sky was absent. The gods are angry.
We are helpless.
Farmers blamed bad luck. The following years, the rain was even weaker. The river began to shrink. The soil became harder. Still, the villagers continued cutting trees. Until one year, the rain did not come at all. Weeks passed under a burning sun, then months. The rivers dried completely. The farms turned brown. Dust filled the air. Children cried for hunger. Animals wandered weakly through the village. The chief called meeting after meeting. The elders prayed for rain, but the sky remained empty. Hope slowly disappeared until one morning, a young boy noticed something strange. While walking near the forest edge, he saw green leaves, healthy plants, fresh vegetables. Mama said's garden was still alive. The entire village rushed
Here,
to her
for
hut.
you and the children.
They stood in silence,
Mama Sad.
staring
You are
at
so
the
kind.
garden. Food everywhere, green life in the middle of death. The chief stepped forward slowly. Mama said, "How is this possible?" The old woman looked at them with gentle eyes. "For many years, I protected this land." She pointed toward the remaining forest. "These ancient trees hold water beneath the ground. They cold the rain. They protect the soil from drying." Her voice became softer, "But you cut most of them."
We were so wrong about Mama Sade.
We judged her so unfairly.
I feel so ashamed. We must make this right.
Yes, we must.
The villagers lowered their heads in shame. Mama said continued, "I cared for this small land every day. I respected the forest, and the forest protected this garden." The villagers stood quietly. The same woman they mocked was now the only person who had food.
garden is so
Mama
generous
said
this year.
slowly filled baskets with vegetables. She handed them to the villagers.
Here, for you and the children.
Thank you, Mama Sad. You are so kind.
"Feed your children," she said kindly. Tears filled the chief's eyes. "We were
wrong
wrong,"
about
he
Mama
admitted. From that day forward, the village changed. New trees were planted, the forest was protected, and Mama said was no longer mocked. Instead, she became the most respected woman in the village. Because sometimes the people we laugh at the most are the ones who understand the world the best.